Hello and welcome to Gus Codes. I am Gus, and in this session of xganso I'll be refining the game design document to better match our updated vision and MVP goals. I'll walk you through the new version of the GDD and highlight the keychains. Let's start designing. This is the structure of our GDD. I'm gonna go through the main points and discuss them a little bit. For the game overview, mostly stayed the same. I refined a little bit the art style. It's gonna be pixel art with medieval aesthetics and a warm tone. I want it to be more joyful and not so dark. For the monetization, I'm gonna make it free to play with no ads or in-app purchases. I don't like this idea of ads and in-app purchases, so I'm gonna get rid of all of it. And the idea is to have a community maybe, or people that are engaged and want to help or want to give ideas. And for the design direction, it's still not clear. There are two paths that we can take. One is a roguelike structure with procedurally generated missions and permanent consequences that maintain throughout the campaigns, or we can have a story-driven campaign and handcrafted maps and character arcs. Obviously, we can combine both of them, which might be the final decisions. We have a lot of random tasks, but then we have specific tasks that are part of a given campaign. Let's move on to the core gameplay. Here I list some of the ideas that we are gonna make in xganso. First, one of the main points is the commit and resolve turns. We're gonna have a single round system where all the players are gonna plan all their actions and commit, and then based on the initiative of each unit, the turn is gonna be resolved. That's gonna leave a lot of room for smart planning and predict what the opponent is gonna do as well. Permanent death, I think it's something that's more common nowadays. The units that are not the main character, they might die and you may be replaced and so forth. For the game modes, the normal one would be a roguelike with carryover between runs or campaigns. And also I'm planning to do a hardcore. When you die, you lose everything. I've been seeing that hardcore modes are very popular nowadays, and the rest are all very common things. Class-based units, procedural missions, hex grid, combat and progression system. These are self-explanatory. Let's move on to the game mechanics. First, the units. There's gonna be a leader that's a special adventure representing the player. He has unique skills that no other goose can have, and is always part of the flock. If the leader dies, the campaign ends or resets depending on the game mode. Then we have the adventurers. These are the geese that can make part of the flock or the squad. These units are unique and they may die and have permanent death, so you can never restore them. And they have these basic stats of HP, attack, defense, move, range, and most likely speed. The flock is the squad that you command to try to do the missions. And then we have the 5 classes that we already discussed in previous time. So it's gonna be the mage, the archer, the knight, the rogue, and the bard. Each one with their own characteristics. Actions per turn. Each adventure can perform one movement followed by one action. Currently the action is only going to be the attack, but in the future we predict to use an item, activate a skill or interact. This goes hand in hand with the turn structure. The turn structure uses a single round system, as I said, where all the units from player and enemy act in order of their initiative. At the start of each round, the player will plan all the actions for all the adventures in the flock, and then when the round begins, the units are gonna be sorted by their initiative order, and the unit will perform its full turn according to this initiative. And then once everything is done, a new round begins. I think that the combination of the turn structure and the actions per turn are gonna leave a lot of room for creativity and prediction in this game. Combat rules. I haven't decided too much on the combat at the moment, but one thing that I want to do is to have RNG, but not to have some randomness that's frustrating to the player. I'm still not sure how it's gonna play. Currently the combat rules are very standard for any kind of tactical game. Another aspect that's quite standard is the terrain. We're gonna have some kind of different terrain types, so we're gonna have the normal ground, the difficult terrain which costs more to pass, even maybe a easier path to go through, and the blocking terrain. Currently we have only block of movement but not of line of sight. This might come to the game as well. Moving on to the enemies. Here I list some kind of enemies. We haven't implemented any of them yet. We're gonna pick some of them and implement them through time, but it's just to have an idea. And for the behavior, we're gonna try to use some rule-based and how each one of them should behave, but still unclear. So this is something that it's gonna take some careful planning to implement. Moving on to the mission structure. Currently I imagine 3 different types of missions. One is the elimination, where you have to eliminate everyone. One is the survive, when you have to survive a certain number of turns. And the infinite, where it's the same as the survive but without the limit. I also envision to have the missions divided into tiers from G to SS or whatever is gonna be meaningful. They're most likely gonna be procedural generated and also scale with progress. For victory and failure, I expect that the victory will have a bounty reward and some additional loot, and the mission difficulty and tier will influence such rewards. For the failure, if an adventure falls in combat, they are permanently lost. If the leader dies, the mission ends in a failure. In normal mode, the campaign resets with some progress carried over. In hardcore, the save file is lost, the character is gone permanently. And for the progression system, it's very much standard, so I'm not gonna get into much details. Lastly, what I want to talk is about the art and the music. I intend to have some pixel art with some medieval tones and some whimsical tone, and that's it. We still have to see how it's gonna play out. And for the audio as well, some very chill, lo-fi music and some sound effects for feedback to the player. So this is the new game design document version. I expect it's a little bit more clear to understand where it's going. It is important to focus that in this time, this game design document is taking into account the MVP that we are designing. So we want to make a demo version that we can ship and then people can test and start playing. Of course, there are so many more mechanics, gameplay ideas that we can put, but we want to have some small package that we can already ship and make it available for people to play. To summarize, today we revisited and refined the game design document to align with the xganso's update direction and MVP goals. Having a clear and focused GDD is essential for keeping the development organized and on track toward the vision. This foundation will help guide the work in upcoming sessions. Thank you for your time and see you in the next session.